Good afternoon, everyone. This is NCUA Chairman Rodney Hood. Thank you very much for joining us remotely for today's Memorandum of Understanding signing ceremony with Export-Import Bank Chairman Kimberly Reed. The last several months have brought serious challenges to our economy at every level. Throughout this difficult time, the NCUA, as a financial regulatory agency, has sought to respond first to the immediate challenges posed by the pandemic. That response has included a number of emergency measures and regulatory reforms aimed at keeping credit unions up and running for the sake of their member owners, while ensuring the safety and soundness of the credit union system and the National Credit Union Share Insurance Fund. At the same time, we've been working diligently to lay the groundwork for the economic recovery that will follow this shock. That means looking for both near and long-term solutions that will improve access to capital for job-creating businesses. That's especially important for small businesses, which have been especially hard hit by recent events. One of those solutions is to point lenders and borrowers toward the support resources that already exist. You might think of this simply as low-hanging fruit. The resources are readily available, but we just need to educate people on how to access them. We all know there are tremendous financing opportunities available for small businesses through various government grant programs, loan programs, and guarantee programs. But for many entrepreneurs, it can be difficult to know where to start to gain access to these programs. That's where credit unions and the NCUA come in. We looked at the network of federally insured credit unions we oversee, 5,236 federally insured credit unions with nearly 120.4 million member owners, and saw an opportunity for credit unions to serve as an information gateway to connect small business owners with these kinds of programs. Last year, we forged a similar agreement with the Small Business Administration, which has been highly successful. Today's agreement with the Export-Import Bank is in that same spirit. Under this agreement, we'll be working with EXIM to develop educational and training initiatives on export financing opportunities to share with credit unions, so they in turn can educate their small business members about the available opportunities, such as an EXIM guaranteed loan being exempt from the member business lending cap of 12.25%. That is so significant, I will repeat it. Export-Import Bank loans, or EXIM guaranteed loans, are exempt from the credit union member business cap of 12.25%. Helping small businesses to gain access to capital is essential, and we can anticipate that this collaboration will be a great help to many hard-pressed entrepreneurs, notably the steep challenges they face in today's dynamic environment. Now, obviously, not all credit unions work with small businesses that handle export trade. However, for those that do, knowing where to turn for help with financing and being able to share that information with small business borrowers will be a tremendous boon. The discussions that led to this agreement began early in my chairmanship many months ago, and I'm pleased that we arrived at a final product we can share today and start putting into action soon. Given the immensity of the economic challenges we're facing, the timing could not be better. It's one more tool we now have in place to help small businesses to get back on their feet, to create jobs, and to spur the economic recovery to come. I'll conclude by noting that the NCUA has had a long and constructive working relationship with the Export-Import Bank, and we are excited about the opportunity to continue that relationship. So Chairman Reed, thank you very much for your efforts in making this agreement a reality and bringing it to fruition today before our very eyes. And we look forward to working with you and your team in partnership to implement this MOU on behalf of the credit union industry and its member owners. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present Chairman Kimberly Reed from the Export-Import Bank. Good afternoon, Kimberly.
Thank you, Chairman Rodney Hood. It's an honor to be here at NCUA today, and I really appreciate all of those who are making this webcast possible, because at this time of COVID, I know that there are a lot of extra measures that we need to be taking, and I'm most grateful to be here today in Alexandria, to be forging this new partnership between our two great institutions. But I'm even happier that it's here in person with you, because Rodney, or Chairman Hood, is a longtime friend and colleague of mine. And we're practicing social distancing, of course, but because of Chairman Hood's leadership in the banking and financial services field, and because of how hard he has been working along with all of those at NCUA to making sure those who need the services most are getting them so they can have a better life. You have called for financial inclusion as the civil rights issue of our generation, Chairman Hood. I urge everyone to read Chairman Hood's inspiring article that just appeared in the Wall Street Journal. In it, Chairman Hood explains how financial institutions can help bring healing to America in these trying times by making more widely available the tools that can be used by all Americans to be able to pay for education and build wealth. Since President Trump appointed Chairman Hood to lead the National Credit Union Administration, he has focused with great effectiveness on getting credit into the hands of the underserved and the marginalized, and bringing new opportunities to urban neighborhoods, rural communities that are fighting decline. Chairman Hood has encouraged financial leaders around America to commit to community building through financial inclusion, including through giving more working families access to the tools that help them achieve financial independence. You may ask yourself, what does the Export-Import Bank of the United States do? EXIM, as we are known, EXIM, fills gaps in private export finance in order to bolster U.S. job growth at no cost to the American taxpayer. We provide trade financing solutions such as export credit insurance, working capital guarantees, and guarantees of commercial loans to foreign buyers to empower exporters of U.S. goods and services. Just this last fiscal year, FY 2019, EXIM authorized $8.2 billion in financing in support of an estimated $9 billion in U.S. export sales. Nearly $2.3 billion of this was for small business authorizations. I'm proud to say that minority-owned businesses are an important priority for us at EXIM. In FY 2019, EXIM authorized $440.6 million for minority and women-owned businesses. EXIM has 6 business development specialists dedicated to conducting outreach and education of this sector. They provide counseling and education, working directly with minority business enterprises and women business enterprises to educate and counsel on trade finance. They also develop and manage relationships with women and minority-owned business organizations to introduce EXIM products and training. These include the Minority Business Development Agency and the Women Business Enterprise National Council. And EXIM's business development specialists take part in joint training sessions with these organizations, trade missions, workshops, and webinars. Now, consider all the good that credit unions do in our country. Chairman Hood often points out that credit unions grew during the adversity that was experienced during the Great Depression. But federally insured credit unions remain today an important part of the United States financial structure, with more than 5,000 institutions with a total membership reaching 120.4 million during the fourth quarter of 2019, and a total assets of 1.57 trillion and an outstanding loans of 64 billion. Now, with Chairman Hood and myself signing this memorandum of understanding, our two agencies are going to join together in launching the very first and 3-year collaborative effort to promote EXIM's export financing products among federally insured credit unions and their clients. This initiative will facilitate the engagement of credit unions in export financing, thereby leading to expanded opportunities for American businesses and an increased number of American workers' jobs that will be supported, particularly in small business. I'm excited about what lies ahead for EXIM and NCUA as we work in unison. Before Chairman Hood and I sign, I would like EXIM's Chief Banking Officer, Stephen Renna, to please say a few words and explain what EXIM does to our viewers and how we can partner with credit unions in support of U.S. exporters.
Thank you, Chairman Reed. This is Steve Renna, and I appreciate the opportunity to have a few moments here to be able to address all your members, Chairman Hood. As Chairman Reed has already said, the products that we provide in order to help facilitate exports include export credit insurance, and that's basically exactly what it sounds like. It's insurance for exporters in the event a foreign buyer, does not pay for the product. So you can basically buy insurance for that payment risk. This allows exporters to be able to, with confidence, pursue markets around the world to sell their products and not have to worry about how do I try to get paid if someone doesn't pay me. In addition to export credit insurance, as the Chairman Reed mentioned, we have working capital loan guarantees. These are guarantees for loans made by U.S. lenders to exporters, so they have the necessary working capital they need in order to fulfill their export orders around the world. We also, and kind of the bulwark of what we do, is we provide loan guarantees to the banks of foreign buyers of U.S. exporters. So just think of a concept in which you have a foreign buyer wants to purchase goods or services from a U.S. exporter, and it's not qualifying for financing from its lending institution. That's where EXIM can come in and enhance the creditworthiness of the foreign buyer by providing to its bank a guarantee. In the event the foreign buyer doesn't pay the bank back for money it's lent to it in order to buy these goods and services from the United States, EXIM will be able to guarantee that loan and make payment if there is a default. And also, we can provide direct loans. We try to limit doing this because we want to work collaboratively with the banking sector instead of replacing it by being a direct lender. But sometimes there are large projects financing that are simply too risky for private sector lenders to engage in, or the term is too long, or other things. So in those cases, we can participate and make loans directly. But I would want to go back and focus on what I think is the most relevant product for the credit unions, and that is our working capital loan guarantee. We are always looking to broaden the base of lenders that we can create arrangements with to essentially be our agent to make working capital loans that qualify for the U.S. guarantee behind that. So it's exciting that we have this opportunity to speak to so many credit unions, because I believe we've only had a handful at most of credit unions that we've worked with in the past, and nothing particularly active right now. But we would like to be able to activate the credit union sector out there to come to EXIM and explore how we can collaborate with these banks and create an agreement in which the credit unions can then go out and make working capital loans to exporters, many of them small and medium-sized businesses. So they can make these loans to them and have the confidence of a 90% U.S. EXIM Bank guarantee behind them making those loans. So just to let you know, so the borrowing base from which we will provide our guarantee are the accounts receivable for exports sold, as well as export-related inventory and some purchase orders. So basically, we look at the exporter's borrowing base from that perspective, and we're able to support banks that will make loans, working capital loans, based on that eligible borrowing base of the exporter. So that's really where the lane where I think we could do a lot with credit unions, and I'll suspend there and turn things back over to Chairman Hood.
Great. Well, thank you for that excellent overview. It's my hope that this partnership will be quite fruitful for the credit union industry. As we look at the recovery that I am positive will take place at some point, credit unions can play a pivotal role in helping entrepreneurs have access to the capital that they need. I'm even more delighted to know that your working capital will be guaranteed, and also that those loans would not count against the credit union's 12.25% lending cap. That really opens up a number of doors of opportunity for the credit unions to be a part of this solution and helping those entrepreneurs create jobs and really grow and propel the American economy further. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I would now like for us to sign our partnership agreement so we can now make this official.
Wonderful.
We're still practicing our social
There we
distancing.
go. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, while this concludes the MOU signing opportunity, it actually begins the NCUA EXIM partnership. To the colleagues of Chairman Reed's at EXIM, I want to thank you for all the work you did in bringing today's MOU signing to fruition. I'd also like to thank my NCUA colleagues for their diligence and support and all the work they did in giving us the room and giving us all the tools that we needed to promulgate this message to the credit union industry and beyond. With that being said, thank you all for joining us today. I look forward to continuing to emphasize and share the importance of this partnership in all of my upcoming engagements, and really, again, spurring economic growth through helping our small businesses have access to capital. Thank you.